Mike McCool here in the Royal Examiner studio, and with me today I have a young Marine called Milo Medina and his mom, Celia. No, Celia. Tell me how to say it again.
Celia.
Now, how come that's so hard for me to pronounce? I guess we'll just rack that up to old people. We've done a story with you, Milo, not too long ago, and the social media just went wild. They said, "Who is this guy? Congratulations, this is great." And you were like a Facebook star. So I said, we're going to get him in the studio and kind of find out the background information. The young man has a whole chest full of medals. Tell us, first of all, how you ever got involved with the Young Marines.
So my dad was in the Marine Corps, and he volunteered to do Toys for Tots. And when he was doing one of those events, there were Young Marines that were helping out, and so he found out about them, and he said he was very impressed with how well-mannerized they were and respectful. And so he said he thought, I want my kids to be in that program when they get old enough. So when I was 8, I joined.
Well, that's young.
Yeah, so it goes from 8 to 18 for the Young Marines.
That's cool. So you're going to plan to stay in until you're 18?
Yep. I'm going to try to get as high as I can and do the most.
Yeah. So you're a sergeant now.
Yeah.
So what kind of things do you do in the Young Marines?
So in my unit, I'm the platoon sergeant, so I'm the highest rank. We lost a lot of our seniors.
Sure.
Because they graduated. And so really it's just going to drill, practicing, learning about drug demand reduction for youth, which is like the main part of the Young Marines, and a ton of lesson planning and lessons.
Well, one of the things, this story that we wrote about, Mom, was about this leadership academy that you graduated at. Are you were like the top dog, or what do they call that in the Marine Corps?
The honor guard.
The honor guard. Okay, you were an honor guard. So tell us a little bit what this leadership thing was all about.
So they have 3 leadership schools. So the first one you go to is Junior Leadership School. That's that ribbon right there, actually. Okay. So when you graduate, you get a ribbon for each one. Okay. Senior Leadership School is the one I went to. That's like the middle one, and then the highest one you can go to is Advanced Leadership School.
So you'll do that next year?
I will try to. I have to be a certain rank and age.
Okay, that's good.
So I'll try to get that next year then.
Yeah.
And so what we did at SLS was we learned all kinds of how to be a better leader, how to be decisive, all that. And we also did a lot of drilling. So learning new movements, how to be a better platoon sergeant. And it was really fun. There were a ton of kids there from kind of like the East Coast area.
Okay. Now you go to school where?
RMA. I go to Randolph-Macon Academy here.
Right. Have you ever been to that the drill major competition up there?
I haven't, no.
Oh, you should watch that. You talk about the drill. We filmed that. If you go on the Royal Examiner, you can watch it. But just the movements, and that's what it's all about, is how to control the band, you know. But it's true. You doing the marching, if you watch the soldiers at like Arlington Cemetery, and you watch the drill, or the guys that twirl the rifles, and how that training, it's a lot of practice. But it's important, you know, in the military, when they give orders, they want you to react. They don't want you, what did you say? What do you want me to do? It's all about the skill that you have in communicating with people. It's great. I will tell you one more little trick I learned in the military. I tell you, like I said, well, you know, look, I want to be an officer in the military, which is what Milo's going to do. I can tell already. And they said, well, what kind of people do they look for? You know, I'm thinking they really want all these advanced degrees. He said, no, we want to get people that can communicate with everybody. They're easy to get. They can control a group. They can carry on a conversation, which is not what I'm doing. I'm taking all your airtime. So tell us a little bit more.
So about the program?
About whatever you want to talk about.
We'll go with the program then. So the Young Marines is for kids from ages 8 to 18. Like I said earlier,
tell us again how old you are.
I'm 14.
Only 14. Mom, you ought to be proud of him.
I am very, very proud of him. Yes, he's worked so hard, and what my biggest bragging, I get to brag a little bit, right?
Sure. That's what moms do.
My biggest thing with Camilo is that things don't come easy naturally for him. He puts so much work and drive into everything he does. And if he doesn't master one thing, he does not give up on it. And he keeps pushing and researching how to get better. And I think the Young Marines program really helped him with that and taught him how to do that. And that's why he's pretty successful in Randolph-Macon Academy as well, and that's why it's they go alongside so nicely together.
What's your rank at RMA?
I don't have a rank. I'm going into 9th grade, so I'm going to be put into a company. Yeah.
Okay, that's when it happens. When they call that, when you go in the cadre or something. So I don't know.
So the cadre camp, I think that's for juniors.
Okay, yeah.
So I have to wait for a bit.
Yeah. I think I told you my kids went there. They didn't have much rank either. So you have brothers or sisters?
I do have a sister. She's in the program too. She's younger than me though, 2 years younger.
Yeah, she is 10 and she's a lance corporal.
Oh my gosh.
She's sneaking up on him.
I was going to say, she might outrank you here pretty soon.
It's a competition right now. We're gonna see who gets hired first.
Is she as well-mannered as these?
She is.
Do you
I'm really
use this
blessed
against
with
them?
So,
And at home, do you
You know,
use this?
What would
I
the young
really-
Marine do? What would the sergeant
Exactly.
make
I'm
you
going to tell the sergeant on you.
lead by example. We're always telling them be the example, but it's also kind of a family. So the Young Marines program, all of us volunteers, we really treat all the kids as if they were our own.
Sure.
And so one of them will slip up or we'll tell our unit commander, which is Elia Meritato, she really wanted to be here. I'll be like, Elia, so-and-so did this today. I need you to talk to him. And then she'll get on the phone and be like, Camilo, she doesn't have to do that much to him, luckily. But we all kind of pitch in, and that's what it's all about, being
Yeah.
a community
It's a big
and
family.
It is.
being there for all of the youth.
Yeah, I introduced you to Mark downstairs, as a former Marine. But, it's like once a Marine, always a Marine. And we're out and about in the community, and he'll be seeing another jarhead sitting over there, and they'll have a little emblem or somewhere. And, oh, yeah, there's that camaraderie. It don't matter whether it's been 30 or 40 years, you go through and share a common experience. And it brings you really tight together. I'd say it's been 50 years since I enlisted, and yet I'm still in touch pretty regular with at least one or two people that, we were only stationed together a year, and but yet just keep that communication open. And so it's just, like you said, it is like, I think he was the best man at my wedding. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, you travel all over. So tell us a little more before Mom interrupted us,
I know,
bragging
I'm
on you
sorry, I'm sorry.
about the program.
So the main thing about Young Marines is youth DDR, which is drug demand reduction. So we're trying to reach all the youth in the U.S., telling them the dangers about drugs, why you shouldn't do drugs, and then why it's so dangerous. And so you don't have to be a Young Marine to do that. We do a lot of events outside of the program. Mm-hmm. So for Manassas, we go to Manassas Mall. We have a little window, and we work on a project to present the dangers of drugs. Mm-hmm. So that's a big part.
Yeah. Getting the message out to people and showing them and getting them involved. I'm sure that's helped when you have something to do. My kids always said, "Oh, I'm bored." I said, "Only boring people are bored," and I can see that Milo is never bored, is
He's
he?
never bored.
So, are you like on the honor society at RMA or the honor roll, and you're getting that 4.0?
I'm trying my hardest to keep on.
He's up there, isn't he?
He's on the National Junior Honor Society.
He's what do you call it? Humble. He's not going to brag.
He is a very humble kid.
Well, that's great. These are skills you need to learn when you're young. I think it's really great, and it's easy. So the younger one, the daughter, she's competitive
she
as
is
well.
a spitfire, and she is also equally as talented and smart as well. And again, she used to be very kind of reserved and afraid to do public speaking, and now since the Young Marines program, she's gotten, I don't know how many times she's
Sure.
gotten in front of a group of people and had to speak and present to them and teach a class. So it's for all kids of all ages and all stages of life. And
Right. So how do they get involved?
So how I told you how my dad found out about
Right,
it.
right. But how
And
would say somebody now that's watching us would say, "Hey, I'm thinking my kid might be interested in that."
So there's actually a website. It's called youngmarines.org, and they have tons of cool stuff on there all about the Young Marines. And one of the things you can do is you can find a unit on the unit locator. You can find the closest one to you, whichever one you want to pick. You look into that unit, and most units have an orientation of sorts for recruits, so you can kind of see what the unit's about, who they have, what they do, and that's how you select your unit. And then from then on, you send your kid to recruit training, and then from there, hopefully they'll graduate, and that's when they start being a Young Marine. They get their uniform, and they can start ranking up and doing more with the program.
Yeah. I made a comment to you when he came in. I see he knows how to roll them heavy sleeves. Yeah, that was
It
one
took a
thing.
while.
When I was in the Air Force, we wore our sleeves were already cut off and sewn. We had short sleeve fatigues, and we didn't have to wear them boots like he has on. It's nice polished. So we had just regular loafers, And it was so funny. We went down to Fort Benning at jump school down there, and we showed up with suitcases and our short sleeve fatigues in the summer. And here the Army and the Marines were there. They had duffel bags, long sleeve shirts, all blued up, sweating, And they were a little jealous.
yes, I bet.
So yeah, it's a lot different, and every branch of the service is a little different, So, but I think it's great. It's just look what it's done for your son. You can't say anything, but if he gets discouraged, that's when you don't quit. And I think that's what they teach you, isn't it?
Yeah. It's always about perseverance, trying to improve yourself, trying to be like better, not as a young Marine, but just as a person as well.
A person. Yeah. How do you? How does that help you? Let's say as a person. How about in your regular kids your own age? Are you associate with kids your own at school? Probably.
I see what you're saying. So, I used to be petrified of speaking to like other people, like adults and stuff.
Sure.
And like right now, like what I'm doing right now, that would have I would not have wanted to do this. And so we mentioned earlier that my sister also improved a lot in her public speaking, and it was the same with me. So. Yeah, it taught me a lot about that, and it was really cool and being disciplined. But a lot of people think that the young Marines is like you're getting yelled at, like in the actual Marine Corps, like you're getting hazed or stuff like that.
Like you see on Facebook,
Yeah.
right?
It's not like that, no. But there is discipline to it, though, and you learn to take on responsibilities and stuff.
I think that's what it is. There's a lot of self-discipline in the military, and sometimes you got to bite your tongue. Then all of a sudden you find when you get the rest of the information, you say, "Oh, that's why we're doing that." But I think it's good to get that. It'll be a little different when you go into the Marine Corps.
Oh yeah, definitely will be. But it'll be fun.
But and I think you're right. If you're going to go in, and I think if you've developed these skills as young as you are, get on into school, go to the ROTC. I'm sure I don't want to be Marines, but then at least you can go in and take that commissioned route because the pay is really pretty good. And the opportunities you have, you can retire at about 40 years old, and you'll have enough time to go do a whole nother career in something that you want to do. Yeah. And the technology is changing for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
So what other kind of things are we doing? Anything else you want to talk about that just kind of like really sets you apart?
Well, I feel like big thing was learning to teach. So I guess that goes hand in hand with public speaking.
Sure.
But learning to teach is like also learning to like listen to other people. And that also helped me a lot because before I used to blurt a lot, like teacher asks a question, I'm immediately saying it. No hands, I'm just saying it.
Me. Right.
So that was very involved in learning to listen to other people and take input and try and make the better plan for everybody, not just for yourself.
Well, they say if you want to learn, you teach.
Yes.
Find that out. You have to study ahead of time in order to you feel self-confident. I got to know more about this. Yeah. Well, maybe you'll be a teacher.
I wanna. So here's my plan actually, if you don't mind me saying.
No, please do.
So Naval Academy, that's my big dream. Go to the Naval Academy, and then that way I can study engineering and business and all that there, and then but not go into the Navy though. Go into the Marines because you can do that from the Naval Academy.
Sure.
And so that's when I want to do my years of service while also learning and taking the college. And I want to own a business, a hydroponics business.
Okay.
We're building a greenhouse right now, actually, at my house.
Yeah. That's the big thing. I told you earlier, we were out and you go out to Phoenix, and they've got these hydroponic farms out there. They grow gorgeous tomatoes, but you can't even buy them in Arizona. They ship them all back to Chicago and New York City to the restaurants and things. Yeah, but it's really the way to do it. They're growing everything that way now. It's just, I've seen something watching YouTube. Now that's another thing you can find out. They had lettuce, and they were growing tobacco. We don't want to talk about that, but just how they did it. It all started with hydroponics before they planted it in the ground. So I just thought that was, I didn't know that. So when I want to find out something, I go to YouTube.
That's the way to go.
So the Naval Academy. Now, what do the Marine Corps say about the Navy? Have they taught you that yet?
I wouldn't say that on air.
They just drive
Lots
the boat.
of jokes.
There's a lot of
Uber, like all kinds of
but
names for
it's
it.
something like they're just the guy that drives the boat over
They're
to
the
where we need to
taxi.
go, right? Something like that.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Yeah, but the Marine Corps, it's small, but you talk about family. That's the way to go.
Yeah.
Well, Milo, I really appreciate you taking the time to come in, and Mom.
Same here.
And maybe we got to get your sister with you next time.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll come back next year when you get up to the next rank,
There you go.
and you'll be the poster board for recruitment. That's an excellent picture of him, isn't it?
It is,
Yeah.
yes. We were very excited about
Funny
that
story.
picture.
We did not have a lot of time to get ready, so they had us wear khakis instead of the camouflage blouse.
Right,
it was
right.
the weirdest looking thing ever. So that's why they only did upper body shots. It was such a funny thing.
Well, I tell you, we did that when I told you I was in the Air Force, but we were overseas in Greenland and at the TV station where I was doing some work at. The guys would show up to do the news, right? They just had their blouse on, they had their shorts and flip-flops underneath. But the colonel, he's gone. So the colonel never knew about, because we were out, you're away from the base, out there. And so they just hung it up, put it back on tomorrow, and
That's
funny.
too funny.
But it's true. It's great. Anyway, it's just so good to talk to you. We can tell war stories all day long. But why don't you tell us real quick, what are some of those medals for you or ribbons you got there? I've never seen anybody so young with a chest full of ribbons.
You should see some of the other young Marines. They have
Up the sleeve.
they have to take some away because it doesn't fit.
Yeah.
But
That's like the guys that stay in, they get all them stripes. You see them old gunnery sergeants.
oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one everybody has if they wear this uniform. It's
Uh-huh.
for graduating recruit training.
And you have the defense, what do you call that one? Just being in the military or the group. You got a couple different ones
Yep.
I reckon. Good conduct medal,
Yeah.
something like that.
Hold
Yeah.
on, there's
That's that yellow one. Is that
might
the?
be. That's the achievement one.
Personal
so
achievement.
that one was for getting a 495 on a physical fitness test.
Yeah.
That
But
one's
where's-
actually for perfect physical fitness test. So
I'm going to talk to you.
I
Real
only
quick.
got that one time.
You know, in the Air Force, you have to run a mile under 8 minutes.
Oh.
7:59 was always my best time. You know? But I always made it.
Yeah,
you
you
know.
made
That's
it
great.
I
every
made it, but
time.
I'm not a runner. So how's the Marine Corps on the physical? Like at 14 years
So
old, what do they want
we
you
do
to
have a mile run if you're 12 and above. And then I love running. It's a really fun thing, and that's always my best part of my PFD. But
Yeah.
the thing that always killed my PFD that got those 5 points off was because I couldn't get that 1 inch on the V-sit. I'm just not that flexible. So
Yeah.
I've been trying to work to. I got it one time. That's how I got the perfect PFD.
Yeah.
But I'm gotta keep stretching for that.
Well, you know, when we get the basic, you have to do pull-ups, not chin-ups.
Yeah.
They have that
Yeah, we
as
have to do the
well.
pull-
They're not
too.
as easy as you think they are.
Oh my goodness, no! I've spent years trying to get better and better, and that's how I've
Well,
gotten better at those.
let me tell you how to learn how to get those done. You do what's called negative energy. You stand up on the bench and you just pull yourself up, and then you let yourself go, and then you try to do it down slow, right?
Oh.
And you keep doing it that way till you get better and better and better, and then all of a sudden you realize I can do them because you're using the resistance this way. Negative, they call it negative exercise or something. But I want to try that. I have no upper body strength anymore. You know, all my strength is right here. You know?
One big end.
When I get up, you know, have you seen people that have to take 3 or 4 times to get out of a chair? I count those as crunches.
Squats. Those are squats.
Oh, yeah, squat. You know that.
We have a CrossFit gym. We got that.
Oh, you guys are all set. All right, again, we're going to kill so much time here. Mark's going to say we're running out of film, so we appreciate you coming in. Come back and see us next time.
Thank
Maybe
you.
encourage some of your other fellow guys to come along, and
Oh, yeah.
maybe we might show up at an event. If you do an event around town, you let me know.
We have
We do.
a DDR dash coming up. It's a 5K, and it's in Quantico. And you don't have to be a young Marine to attend, so that's a great
good.
family fun
That's a
5K.
good. I just think this activity of coming together is just so good.
Yep.
I appreciate that what you've done for your children. Is you're giving them a foot a head up, a foot up, I guess, and a step up or whatever it's called. But it's going to really help them, and you'll see that. You know, typically until they're 30 years old, and all of a sudden they don't realize how smart their mom and dad is. You know.
It's a village. It's
It-
definitely a village. Front Royal has given us a great village here,
Yeah.
so we're
How long
very
have you lived here?
We moved here maybe 4 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, 4 years. I think.
We opened a gym a year before COVID, so we ended up moving out here to just kind of help with that. So it's only been 4 years, and everyone has just really embraced
Okay.
us
Well,
as
that's
family.
great. Well, again, we appreciate it. Thanks
Thank
again
you.
for coming.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.